you tell me how you feel now? How do you feel?
I feel much better.
Very good. How much is 8 minus 3?
5, definitely, 5. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay, Hans, thank you. Michael.
Where are we now, Captain?
Well, actually, we're descending now to sea level again. We are at 26,000 feet.
How much longer until I would have been unconscious?
Well, a matter of seconds.
Really?
I guess 10 to 20 seconds, and then...
And from there to death?
That's your final destination, then.
If Hans hadn't stepped in...
Yes. What do you think? It just shows how insidious this is and how you do not realize how it's affecting you. Just quickly, fatigue. Everybody suffers from fatigue at one stage or another. It can be short-term, in other words, acute, or it can be chronic, which is long-term fatigue. Pilots are quite susceptible to this because of these massive east-west sectors that we fly non-stop with massive time zone changes. The other thing that people ask me about are airborne infections. What is the quality of the air in the cabin like? The quality of the air in the cabin is better than the quality of the air you are breathing right now. I promise you that. In the aircraft you say, yes, but all the air is recycled. No, it's not. It's about 1/3 of the air which is recycled. The rest of it is fresh air taken into the air conditioning units and circulated. The bit that is recycled goes through what are called HEPA filters. These are high efficiency particle filters, the same ones that are used in hospital operating theatres. They actually filter out about 99.99% of any microbes or bugs or anything in the air. So the quality of the air in the cabin actually is quite good. The other one that we sometimes discuss is what we know as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, economy class syndrome. It's not the economy class syndrome, I assure you. It does not simply happen to people in economy class. You could have a DVT sitting here, right now. There is some evidence that you may be at slightly higher risk, but not because you're traveling economy. It's because possibly you're dehydrated on board the airplane. You might have had a bit too much coffee before you get on board or on board. You might have had a few glasses of wine with lunch. That's going to dehydrate you. That's going to thicken your blood. So that is possibly going to predispose you to a slightly higher risk of DVT. Okay, if you've had a surgical operation recently, then you're possibly slightly more likely to have DVT. Any form of immobility is going to give you a slightly increased risk. The contraceptive pill and hormone replacement therapy, that can increase your risks. Older people, yes, they are more susceptible to it. Pregnancy will increase the risk. It's about 1 in 1,000 of pregnant women will have a DVT. Obesity will also increase your chance of DVT. But please be assured that all of these risks are extremely small. And as I say, looking after yourself on board, try and get up at least every hour, walk up and down the aisle if you can, stretch your legs, and make sure you hydrate, make sure you drink plenty of water. Try and avoid alcohol. I don't want to be a killjoy, but not too much of the old demon drink. No sleeping pills. Do not use sleeping pills unless you absolutely have to. A, you're going to wake up feeling dreadful. B, you might not sleep with a sleeping pill in turbulence, which is going to make you feel even worse. Compression stockings, yes. Make sure you have them fitted by somebody who knows what they're doing, preferably your doctor. Tell your doctor you're going on a long-haul flight and you want to know about compression stockings. He will then give you a prescription for the correct pressure stocking that you need. What you need are the surgical ones, which they put on you when you've had surgery. They put those surgical stockings on for a very good reason, to stop the blood from pooling in your legs. You can get your doctor to give you something called heparin as an injection, which will thin the blood, but that has its side effects as well. So you want to be a little bit careful about that. Aspirin, people say, take aspirin. That'll thin the blood. It will thin the blood. There's no reason not to take aspirin, but it's probably not going to give you much protection against deep vein thrombosis. It may protect against deep arterial, in other words, in your arteries, thrombosis, but it's the vein which is going to cause you trouble if you have a particular clot which either gets lodged in your heart or in your brain. That is what is going to cause the problem. If it makes you feel better, by all means, take 75 milligrams, very low dose aspirin, 2 days before, the day of, and 3 days after your journey. Keeps the blood a little bit thin. It won't do you any harm unless you've got stomach ulcers or stomach complaints, in which case aspirin might just aggravate those. So after the journey, you want to try and get some exercise. Go for a little walk before you go to bed that night. The other thing was jet lag, which I was going to mention to you. There's no cure for jet lag. The only way you can get used to jet lag is to allow 1 day per hour of time zone change that you have been through. That's how long it takes for the body clock to adjust. The other strange thing is that your liver has its own body clock. Now, I'm not joking, it has its own body clock. So if you're used to having a glass of gin and tonic at 6 in the evening, and suddenly you're in a different time zone, and you're having a gin and tonic at what your liver's body clock time is 10 o'clock in the morning, it's going to get a bit of a fright. It's going to say, hello, what's going on here? A gin and tonic at this time of day? Surely not. And it'll have to wake up and go to work. As far as stuff like melatonin is concerned, if you've used melatonin, or if you want to use melatonin, which is the drug that tells your body whether it's day or night, get it from your doctor. Do not buy melatonin over the counter, because you have no idea what is in those things, and especially not from health food shops. I use health food shops advisedly. Get it from your doctor on prescription, then you know what you are getting. The only real cure for jet lag that I came across in many, many years, I was flying with a young co-pilot, and he was having the most awful problem with sleeping after long east-west sectors. And he asked me, he said, did you ever find a cure for jet lag, Captain? I said, well, yes and no, I suppose. I'm married to a much younger woman, and when I get to the airport, I just phone her up at home and tell her I'll be home in an hour. She gets the jacuzzi on, gets it all nice and hot. When I walk in the door, she greets me, she brings me a nice glass of malt whiskey, undresses me, we get into the jacuzzi, have a lovely, lovely massage in the jacuzzi, then we adjourn to the bedroom, and half an hour later, I just drift off into the most wonderful deep sleep, and that's it. All sorted. Jet lag sorted. So he said, "Oh, thanks, Captain." He says, "Brilliant." And so I was flying them again a couple of months later, and I said, "Did you try what I suggested?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "It was absolutely fantastic." He said, I cannot thank you enough." He said, "By the way, that is a fantastic jacuzzi you've got." Yes. Time to go home, I think. I think we're doing the final one on Wednesday, 22nd of May at 3:30. We're back in here again. So I hope that wasn't too serious for you, that talk there. The next one is it's quite fun. We look at glamour in the skies. Is the job glamorous? Has it ever been glamorous? Will it ever be glamorous? And we look at some of the other low-cost airlines, which are probably never going to be glamorous, I have to tell you. People have asked if I've flown a helicopter. I showed you this slide earlier, actually. I have flown a helicopter, but I don't like helicopters. It's a most unnatural way to travel. The only way a helicopter is better than a fixed-wing aeroplane is when you get that. That's lovely. I like that. One for the boys, girls. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day on board, and I look forward to seeing you later on. Thank you very much.